Chapter 4. The Gathering of Allies. News of King Alaric's disappearance spread swiftly across Eldoria, carried by whispers and cries that echoed through every kingdom. The tales of the lost king reached the ears of the elven party on their quest for the Starfire scepter, a relic of immense power that could help defeat the dark forces and keep any human ambitions in check. In the verdant forests of Elenthar, home to the elves, the news was received with a mix of surprise and concern. Despite their disdain for human greed and King Alaric's past actions, the elves understood the importance of a strong human empire to stand against the encroaching darkness. Starspire Keep. Within the ancient halls of Starspire Keep, the Elven Council convened. The grand marble-floored room was adorned with tapestries depicting the elven history, a history marred by the Great War. At the head of the council sat Lord Thalanor, a wise and battle-scarred elf with piercing green eyes and hair the colour of autumn leaves. Beside him stood two prominent figures: Ilara, a skilled archer and diplomat known for her fierce loyalty and sharp mind, and Caelith, a powerful mage whose mastery of ancient spells had earned him great respect among the elves. They had led the search for the Starfire scepter, but now their mission had to change. "We cannot ignore this news," Thalanor declared, his voice echoing in the hall. "King Alaric's disappearance leaves a void in the human realm, one that the dark forces will seek to exploit." Ilara nodded. "We must ensure stability. If Alaric's son can be convinced to take the throne, it would strengthen the alliance against the darkness." Caelith added, "But the young prince is untested. We must approach this delicately. He may not be ready to rule, but we can guide him." Thalanor stood, his decision made. "Then it is settled. We will journey to Viridia and meet with Prince Aric. Ilara, Caelith, you will lead this mission. Journey to Viridia." The journey to Viridia was swift and silent, the elven party moving with the grace and speed of their kind. As they approached the human capital, the tension was palpable. The humans had always viewed the elves with a mix of awe and suspicion, but the urgency of their mission outweighed any potential hostility. Upon reaching the gates of Viridia, they were greeted by Sir Cedric, a knight loyal to the late King Alaric, and now acting as regent in the absence of the king. Cedric, recognizing the elves' importance, escorted them to the royal chambers where Prince Aric awaited. Meeting with Prince Aric. Prince Aric, a young man of barely 20 summers, sat in his father's chair. Though his features mirrored those of his father, his eyes held a softness and uncertainty that Alaric had long since buried. As Ilara and Caelith entered, he rose to greet them, his expression a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. "Prince Aric," Ilara began, her voice gentle but firm, "we come bearing grave news and an urgent request. Your father's disappearance has left a void that must be filled swiftly to maintain the stability of the realm." Aric's gaze faltered. "I am not ready to take the throne. My father's shadow looms large, and the burden is immense." Caelith stepped forward, his eyes glowing with a faint magical light. "We understand your hesitation, Prince Aric, but the darkness grows bolder each day. Your leadership is needed, not just as king, but as a symbol of hope and strength." Aric looked between the two elves, his thoughts a whirlwind of fear and responsibility. "I will lead the army," he finally said, determination creeping into his voice. "I will protect our people and fight against the darkness. But the throne? I need time to prepare for that." Ilara nodded, respecting his decision. "Your leadership in battle will rally the troops, and with our combined forces, we can hold the darkness at bay. In time, you will find the strength to ascend the throne." Preparing for battle, Prince Aric's decision was met with a mixture of relief and anxiety among the Council of Viridia. With Sir Cedric's guidance and the support of the elven advisors, preparations for the impending battles began in earnest. The elves brought their unmatched archery skills and deep knowledge of ancient magic, while the human armies provided strength and numbers. Together they fortified Viridia and prepared strategies to counter the dark forces that threatened their lands. As the combined forces of elves and humans trained and readied themselves, whispers of hope began to spread. The young prince's resolve inspired many, and the presence of the elven allies reassured the people of Viridia. But even as they prepared for war, the quest for the Starfire Scepter and the search for the Crystal of Eternity remained at the forefront of their minds. The fate of Eldoria hung in the balance, and unity was their only hope against the encroaching darkness. A new alliance. In the weeks that followed, the bond between elves and humans grew stronger. Ilara and Calith worked closely with Prince Arik, teaching him the ways of diplomacy and battle strategy. Arik's confidence grew, his leadership skills honed under the watchful eyes of his mentors. One evening, as they stood on the battlements overlooking the bustling city below, Ilara spoke softly to Arik. "You have the heart of a king, Arik. Your people will follow you, not because of your title, but because of your courage and compassion." Arik smiled, the weight of his responsibilities feeling a little lighter. "Thank you, Ilara. With allies like you and Calith, I know we can face whatever comes." Calith, standing beside them, nodded. "Together, we will restore peace to Eldoria, and perhaps, in time, we will find the Starfire Scepter and the Crystal of Eternity, securing a future free from darkness." As the sun set over Viridia, casting a golden glow over the city, the new alliance between elves and humans stood as a beacon of hope. The battles ahead would be fierce, but united, they were determined to forge a path to a brighter future for all of Eldoria.
In the realm's heart, the whisper spread. Our king is lost, and hope seems dead. Across the land, the news takes flight. A kingdom in turmoil, lost in night. Elves and men, their paths entwined, facing shadows, hearts aligned. In ancient halls and forests deep, promises of togetherness they vow to keep. In verdant woods, the elves prepare a relic sought with hope to spare. To the human realm they swiftly ride, to meet a prince with fate as their guide. Elves and men, their paths entwined, facing shadows, hearts aligned. In ancient halls and forests deep, promises of togetherness the vow to keep. The young prince stands with a heavy crown. His father's shadow brings him down. Wisdom guides him, magic shines bright, leading through the encroaching night. In ancient halls where councils meet, tapestries and wisdom greet, calls for togetherness, grace and might. In the darkened space they ignite. In ancient halls where councils meet, The streets and wisdom grief call for togetherness, grace and might in the darkened space ignite.
If you're enjoying the story of Eldoria, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated.